welcome everybody. This is the second iteration of the Flexible Chat, and I will be showing some new features. Let's launch play mode. Okay, so what changed from the last iteration is basically now when you add the new tabs, they actually resize to fit the window. You can add some more, and they also resize in the runtime when you drag the resize handler. So that works for every tab. This is the first feature. Second of all, now you can drag. Let's say I'm gonna drag tab number 5. Now I'm gonna add 2 more tabs, and now when we drag this window on, for example, this handler, this very small arrow, placeholder for an arrow appears, and we can insert this group onto this group exactly between tab 2 and 3. So let's put it like that, and we have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4. So as you can see, this our entire group just went inside. Okay, so now we can also collapse. So it goes to the edge of the window, and this is actually user control feature. This is something that user can. This is an add-on to this to the system. I will show you how it works in a moment. So okay, so this is the chat window group, and you have the example flexible tooltip group extension. I'm gonna bring this script on top of my screen, and I go over some code. So this is the reference to this component, the flexible chat window group. I'm of course getting it via the get component because it's an add-on, and I don't care if it couples. Then we have this is my event I created in FlexibleChat, and this basically means this event is gonna execute wherever in the frame that comes after all the toggle elements of the toggle group being inactive. So if any toggle element goes active, and in previous frame they were all inactive, then toggle group activated is released, right? And this operator is basically means subscription to this event with this function delegate. So wherever this event occurs, this function is also occurring. And likewise for the toggle group disactivated. And this event happens when all the toggles in a group are disactivated, while in the previous frame at least one was activated. So basically what that means, this event means when any toggle goes active, and this means if all toggles go inactive. And when that happens, we call start expand sequence. So this is when we select with our left click button on the handler, and it goes active because we select it like a toggle, and this function is executed, which snaps it to this position that we see right now. And this is basically collapsing to the bottom side of the screen when everything goes inactive. So right now only group 5 is active. If we press left click button, it goes inactive, so the function executes and it hides itself. Okay, so this is the one thing you can do on your own. You can even, instead of doing it this rough way, you can call some kind of animation which will do it for you in like interpolative way. You can do some art and input it here within your custom script, right? So this is how the extensions to the FlexibleChat are gonna work. there is some certain core, there are some events which are exposed outside. You can subscribe to them, you can do whatever you want when something inside of the system happens. And please note, this is inside of the system. I'll be talking about the outside communication just in a moment. Actually, that's everything I wanted to say about the inside plugins. So I'll move to the outside iteration, to the outside communication right now. So as you can see, there's our flexible chat on the entire root of the chat. There is nothing else here. This is basically to update the prefab. I was working on it. So basically, you're gonna have only flexible chat. This is what you're gonna drag from the assets, and there are some nested prefabs inside, like the chat group is nested prefab. Chat tab are nested prefabs. As you can see, they're cloned and instantiated here. And I was basically since chat tab is nested inside of chat group, I had to keep the chat group outside in case I want to change it, because if I change it here, then everything inside goes poof, and there's nothing inside, so I don't want it to happen. That's why I'm working on it this way. Okay, so I was talking about the outside iteration, and communication. So let's bring up this script right here. And as you can see, there is this is another example, another extension. This is the controller which you have to provide to the system, which fits your in-game logic. So if you're making a, for example, networking game, it's gonna be different than if you were making an offline game. If you're developing game in, for example, Photon, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different if you're like using Ulink, if you're using Unity, if you're using Unity networking, if you're using some kind of Forge from the asset store. So because the code for each network framework is gonna be different, I decided to make it more flexible this way by exposing the interface that you have to implement within your own controller to the outside. And this type of logic is handled by the actual user, because it's gonna be always different. So basically, in this context, the chat system is only a view. If we like considering something like an MVVM or MVC patterns. So, and this is the controller. Actually, it should be a view model, I think. Yeah, it should be view model, but that would be kind of confusing for people who are not familiar with MVVM and MVC. So I named it controller because controller is to control something, right? And it's basically controlling our flexible chat right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual interface first. As you can see, there are two things inside of it right now. There's gonna be more probably when I'm gonna be implementing more features. And they are there's one event and one function. Okay, so this function is called on FlexibleChat to output new chat entry to the outside systems. Okay, so basically this function is called by the FlexibleChat, and wherever something go outside this function happens, right? So let's remove it. Actually, let's remove everything for now, and let's use ReSharper to implement our members. This is what you're gonna get when you implement the interface. You're gonna get some event and you're gonna get some send new entry from this chat. So wherever this function happens, it means the flexible chat wants to send something to the outside. So I'm gonna explain why this is good in a moment. And get new entry from outside is the event that you can call the user can call wherever something comes from the outside. So let's say you have a server layer and there's something coming to this controller via the RPC, and you want the chat to recognize this message. So what you do is you call get new entry from outside, and you put the chat entry into the argument. Chat interaction is the delegate, which is defined here. So you can see it's a void, so it doesn't return anything, and it takes chat entry. And you can pass your chat entry to the outside and the inside. So let's see. Chat entry is something like this. It contains message, it contains tag, it contains tag time sent, and it contains message, tag, and chat time info. Now, if you're using something like an U-link and you want to send it across the network, you would have to create your own serializer here. So U-link, for example, uses the bitstream class. So you would want to implement the serializer functions here, and actually in U-link there's something like a codec, when you actually have to type to which type is assigned to which serializer function, because there can be more inside of the single class. So you would have to write the serializer and assign the proper serializer to the system, to the codec. But that's only something that happens in U-link. I don't know how it works in Photon or Forge. But basically, this is how you extend the actual system and integrate it within your own game, based on the networking framework that you use. Okay, so let's say if we type something, it's going to this function, right? So right now nothing will happen if we type something, if we compile it and we run again, because this function is empty, there's nothing here. So the way I did it before was I typed if get new entry from the outside equals doesn't equal null, then I call get new entry from the outside, and we put the entry that we get in the argument inside of this argument. Okay, so we check it for null, because obviously if there's nothing subscribed to this event, we don't want any exception here. I mean, you can throw something if you like, if you need some error when you don't want this situation to ever happen. But I'm just going checking for null, and I'm putting this thing. I'm putting this entry to the event, and FlexibleChat is subscribed to this event, so it will receive this this chat entry and it's gonna suck it inside and display it on the console. Okay, so let's say you're making a networking game, right? And let's say there's a tag which is available only to admins. So let's say admin comes to the console and he types like a global message to everybody, and it's called a system message in some MMOs. But yeah, he types some message and hi people, I'm moderating this game right now, I'm doing something here, ask me questions or whatever, right? And you don't want this functionality to be handed over to any other user, right? And the thing is, every message that you send through the system contains a certain tag. So if we go here and if we type something like a global with a slash and space, the tag changes, as you can see on the left. You can type local, you can type guild, and if you type something random, then nothing happens, it's only getting reset. Why is that? That's because there is certain set of registered tags. So if we come back to our example with an admin, you would have something like a system, or let's say admin, and you can assign him certain color, right? So let's say he's gonna get like this kind of yellowish orange, actually it's like brownish or yellow. Okay, so let's say this color pops out every time admin types, but you don't want it to be sent from user to user by just allowing users to type like admin and then typing stuff, right? So what you have to do is basically organize your own code very well. Let's say you're using Ulink, because that's the framework that I know, and inside of Ulink you have something called RPCs, which you use to transmit the data across the network. So in this case, wherever you receive the data from the client, you send it to the server via the RPC. So on the other side you have a let's say FlexibleChat controller example server script with server suffix, and in this script you have the function that is called via the reflection through the RPC system. And in this function you receive this chat entry, and then you can check if the tag is, for example, admin, then you don't do anything. You don't send it anywhere, you don't send it to the server, you don't send it to any other player, you just ignore it, right? And if it's like trade, if it's global, if it's part of the guild, local, or whatever, you just send it like to every player, right? To every FlexibleChat controller instance across the network. So you can actually, because of this design, you can actually have the control over your own game. Like this plugin is not enforcing you to use any certain solution. You can use Photon, you can use Ulink, you can use Forge, wherever you want. You can even use it for the offline game. That's because we use the dependency injection right here. So this is basically the introduction to how the dependency injection works, and how you can make your frameworks much better and much more flexible if you're making something for the asset store. And this is the principle that I want to stick with and create something which can be used in every game without any major problems, without my script influencing your own code. Okay, so this is everything I have to say right now for this topic, and let's say I'm gonna be releasing this chat, I guess, sometime this week. You can post your own requested features in the work in progress thread on the Unity forums and work in progress section. And yes, I'll be signing off right now. See you guys later.